Hello, guys. I am Shane Davis, 20-year comic book veteran. I'm here with Yanzi Lin, and today is the day we are talking about the American comic book industry once again, as some of the biggest and brightest names in comics are putting their thinking caps on and thinking, how do we save the American comic book industry? But quick, before we go into that, we got Shane Davis's Axcend Level Up. If you guys will, look at the link down below. Go check this book out. Action, adventure, comic book, video game, superhero fun coming at you from Nine Lives Comics. Now, we have talked a little bit about Mark Millar and his views about the American comic book industry and this cockamamie idea about offering a 50% royalty deal to creators to lure them back in, because that is, he acknowledges the real big problem is a lack of talent in the books. I agree and disagree. I do think there is a lack of talent in mainstream comics right now to sell comic books. But I also agree that the content is the part of the problem, not just the creators, but the actual material that you're feeding people. If you're feeding people SJW propaganda stuff, doesn't matter who's drawing it, I might not read it. So let's get into this.
Mark Millar is proposing that all creators who sell over 60,000 copies of a book should get 50% creator royalties on that. And according to his math, he believes that if you get Uncanny X-Men up to 200,000 units per issue, you'll be making $500,000 in royalties per book a year. Sounds like a very good number, actually. Now, obviously, if you want to translate that into, say, creator-owned stuff, that is really like ultimate top tier kind of production. Maybe if you are a very popular creator, you do that on crowdfunding, maybe you can scratch $500,000. I don't know, but in a year, still a bit of a stretch. So Mark Millar is basically saying, you do this for the corpos, you get $500,000 every single year. Wouldn't that be fantastic? But see, he has his own idea of who he thinks will be the ones who be able to make this kind of money. So he says, imagine Ethan Van Sciver and Jeff Johns on X-Men or Avengers. It will be insane. He also proposes other creators, such as Snyder and Capullo on X-Men, Sean Gordon Murphy on Wolverine, etc., etc. So he would say that these guys would get way, way more than either creator-owned video games or Hollywood would pay them. Yeah, it is true. We all know that when it comes to the transmedia stuff, that creators really do get screwed over. Marvel is famously known for giving only $5,000 to each creator every time they use their ideas or their characters in a movie, which is a bit of a slap in the face.
I think this is a bit of a curveball to this proposal. I'm just going to put myself as a creator in these shoes. Marvel comes up to me and says, or DC, they pick a character, say like X-Men, and they're like, Shane, we're going to give you 50% royalty on Uncanny X-Men or X-Men Red, X-Men Blue, whatever X-Men book. It doesn't matter. Wolverine, whatever. And they're like, we're going to give you that. And I'm like, okay, yeah. This is great. You're redoing the deals and I have an incentive. I'm going to come do this. Maybe I want to. I don't know. Whatever reason. I want that money. I'm going to then ask, one punch follows the other one. Well, what about the media stuff? And they're going to go, what are you talking about? Well, you got this big deal in front of you. I'm like, yeah, but am I going to get left over in the media side of things? How am I taken care of there? What type of money am I getting? Well, we already have X-Men. We already have Wolverine. Yeah, but if you start using my shots or my costume designs or story elements or any of those things, how am I compensated for that? And that is a big deal that I don't think any of these media companies want to touch. Now, will I overlook all of that potentially for that big royalty? And I don't know. That's a flip of a coin. That's a flip of a coin to a lot of comic book creators. I know for the little money I've gotten in some things, whether it be the Man of Steel or something like that, I gladly would have let that money go. It was substantial money, but I would have gladly let that money go for them not to have used my stuff at all. Because it's really about, how am I credited? How am I treated? Am I treated with respect when you go to yank stuff? Talking to Hugh Snyder, when you go to yank my stuff for a movie, are you crediting me? Are you saying thank you to me? Are you holding my book up? All of those things. Like, does that matter to me as a creative? It does. It does. Egos do come into play. A simple thank you at the end of credits goes a long way for a lot of people. Money, obviously, sure. But is the money right? Comic creators do not have Hollywood agents making sure we're getting compensated correctly for our film use. And the few people that do have those agents, like, it's still hard to deal with Marvel and DC on that level because there is no proof that they're going to use your comic at the time of hiring you for medias. It's something that's always dealt with after the fact. And you're always at a disadvantage as a creative. And that is a big issue with this plan. I know we are in the age that everybody's jaded about that, but it is a factor.
I want to bring up one very good thing though. So it's nice that Mark Millar has all these wonderful ideas about what creators he wants to see and what books. But we also read in the article last week by Phil Ward saying that, yeah, I'm shutting down stores by the first quarter 2024, which is less than 5 months away. So this is kind of too little too late, you see. To be able to get all these talents on this kind of books, first you must ensure their schedule is clear. Then you got to line them up, and then you can announce their projects. All this stuff has happened at least 1 year out. It's not just something that happens, especially with big name talents. So he's basically asking for, I don't know, the world at this point. Can you imagine trying to get Snyder and Capillo right now, no matter what they're doing, and saying, I want a book out 3 months from now? That's not going to happen.
And you correctly need to market it. You could make the hottest book in the world, but if you didn't market it, if you didn't get the word out on the street, if you didn't tap into the comic zeitgeist, the pop culture zeitgeist, get on the shill comic media and get them to advertise your book, not just when it hits the shelf, but about 3 or 4 months out from it hitting the shelf. That way stores, retailers are excited, generate the heat, get people invest money in ordering the book, because that is what retailers have to do. They have to pre-order these books or they're not on the stand, period. They're not even printed for people to buy. That's what forces these weird second prints and stuff like that. Is just bad, basically marketing, not marketing the book correctly. So there would take a mass coordination of this. And the last time I've seen something like this, and it was a train wreck. I was on the inside. I saw how it came together, was the New 52. A big blank check written to DC Comics, a big publishing initiative, but all thrown together in a matter of months, and like 3 months, maybe 4 months. So much so that at the end of Flashpoint, artists were whiting the characters out and redrawing spreads, trying to hint that there was the New 52. I mean, it was tight and slammed together super quick. So at the quickest turnaround this could happen would be 3 months. But see, the problem in this is we have to rein talent back in. A lot of creators, he mentioned Ethan Van Sciver, Sean Gordon Murphy, a lot of these guys, even myself included, out doing crowdfunded books. This year alone, we raised over $350,000 in crowdfunding. Think about that. Like, am I interested in going and making Marvel and DC a lot of money right now? Yes, I want the direct market to thrive. Yes, I care about retailers, but corporate comics don't care about me. And there is the problem. This is what he's proposing. Make corporations care about creators, care enough about creators to give them an incentive to work for you, to keep the direct market alive.
And I also want to point out one thing though. So what Mark is proposing at this point is going to literally kill all the retailers. Now, why do I say that? Imagine you tell the retailers now, hey, 6 months down the road, we got Ethan Van Sciver, we got Jim Lee, we got Todd McFarlane, we got Greg Capullo, we got all these guys all penciling Marvel and DC books. You know what will happen? People will stop ordering everything on the shelves right now because they're waiting for the big one coming down the road. So all the retailers will be killed by this initiative, Mark. I hate to say that.
That is true. That is very much true, because an example was Flashpoint. Big event. Everybody was excited about it at first, but the sales dropped the second DC Comics announced the New 52. It was already, nobody even cared about Flashpoint at that point. It was just something that had to cycle through to get to the big new shiny event. And it really would affect retailers in what they're selling right now. But if the sales are so low, that doesn't really matter, because they're already at rock bottom. So again, it's a tricky, slippery slope. It would take ultra management, ultra talent even to come in. A lot of things would have to align in the stars. But anyways, if you guys will hit like, subscribe, ring the bell for notification, let us know below what you think about this news and your fantasy baseball picks of creators and talents, and what books would you actually buy if they were put together. If you guys will, stay tuned for this trailer for Axcend Level Up. Again, the link is down below in the chat. We'll catch you guys again with another video.
I dream of a world carefully crafted, beautifully flawed. This is Axcend. In this game of life, There is one thing that determines a victor. A player's ability to grow. A player's ability to evolve. A player's ability to survive. My name is Dog. Choose to play. Choose to upgrade. Choose to level up. Choose to Axcend.